Be me, 29, living my truth as an emotionally evolved woman who's done the work. Been with John for 3 years. Not like other couples. We're actually enlightened. I've taught him so much about emotional availability and communication. Honestly, he should be grateful. Most men are just empty vessels of toxic masculinity. I'm basically his unpaid therapist, but also that's problematic because women shouldn't have to fix men. Whatever. The point is, I'm the emotionally intelligent one in this relationship. Yesterday, found a bottle of antidepressants in the bathroom cabinet. Not mine, obviously. My mental health struggles are valid and visible because I process them authentically. Must be his. Immediately my mind starts racing. This is a violation of our entire relationship foundation. We're supposed to share everything. I literally told him about my lunch yesterday in excruciating detail because that's what partners do. The sandwich was asymmetrical and it triggered me, but I worked through it out loud for 40 minutes. Confront him when he gets home. John, we need to talk about your hidden medication. He goes pale. Already I can feel myself being the victim here somehow. He's making me do the emotional labor of dragging the truth out of him. Typical. He sits down, won't make eye contact, which is probably some microaggression I haven't catalogued yet. The refusal to make eye contact is actually a documented form of emotional withdrawal that disproportionately affects women in heterosexual partnerships. I read about it somewhere between my morning affirmations and my evening ritual of mentally listing everyone who wronged me that day. I've been on them for 4 years, he says quietly. 4 years. We've been together for 3, so he was on them before we met and never told me. This is literally a form of gaslighting. He gaslit me by omission. He let me believe I was dating a neurotypical person when actually I was dating someone with depression. Not that there's anything wrong with depression. I'm very supportive of mental health. I literally shared an infographic about it once. But this is different because it affects me. Why didn't you tell me? I ask, and I can already feel the tears forming. Not because I'm sad for him, obviously. Because I'm processing the trauma of being deceived. I didn't think you'd care, he says. Excuse me. I physically recoil. I wouldn't care? Me, the most empathetic person I know? Me, who literally cried during that commercial with the sad dog? Me, who performs empathy so visibly that everyone around me knows exactly how caring I am? That's incredibly hurtful, John, I say. My voice is shaking, which means I'm the one who's hurt here. I'm the victim of his assumption. You're saying I'm the kind of person who wouldn't care about your mental health. He's doing that thing where he looks trapped. Probably because he realizes how badly he's messed up. That's not what I meant, he starts. Then what did you mean? I interrupt. I'm very good at interrupting. It's actually reclaiming conversational space that men typically dominate. When I do it, it's justice. He's quiet for a long moment. The silence is aggressive. I'm being silenced by his silence. Whenever I've tried to talk about feeling down, you've kind of made it about you. I'm sorry, what? Made it about me? I'm trying to process this absolutely unhinged accusation. My brain is literally short-circuiting, trying to find a single example. There are none, because I'm incredibly supportive. I support people constantly. I supported my friend Rachel when she was sad about her breakup. I told her exactly what she did wrong and how she could have prevented it. I gave her a full analysis of her attachment patterns. She said she just wanted to vent, but I knew she needed solutions. That's what real support looks like. I have never made your feelings about me, I say. I'm standing now because sitting feels like I'm lowering myself. One time, he looks so tired suddenly, which is manipulative, honestly. Looking tired is a way of making me feel guilty for having reasonable expectations. Last year when my dad was sick, he says, "Oh, here we go. He's going to weaponize that. I tried to tell you I was struggling, and you talked for an hour about how hard it is to watch men refuse to be vulnerable. Okay, first of all, that's taken completely out of context. Second of all, that was about him. I was processing my experience of his emotional unavailability. That's literally what partnership is. Working through how his issues affect me. If anything, I was being incredibly generous by sharing my perspective. He should have been grateful for the free consciousness raising. That was me trying to help you understand the broader context of masculine emotional repression. I explain. I'm using my patient voice, the one I use when I'm educating someone who's clearly missing the point. I was giving you framework to understand your own behavior. He actually laughs. Laughs. I feel something cold in my chest. You're doing it right now, he says. Doing what? I demand. Making this about you. I just told you I've been dealing with clinical depression for years and you're upset that I didn't tell you. I have every right to be upset. I'm crying now. The tears are hot and they feel validating. I'm crying because I'm the one who's been wronged here. You lied to me, John. I didn't lie, he says, and his voice has this edge I've never heard before. It's scary, but also I'm not allowed to say I'm scared because that would be fragility. I just didn't tell you. Because every single time I've ever been sad or worried or struggling, you turn it into a lecture about emotional labor or weaponized incompetence or whatever term you learned that week, whatever term I learned, as if my extensive self-education on systems of oppression is somehow shallow. I've done the work. I read threads on social media. I absorb theory through cultural osmosis. I can identify 17 types of microaggressions, and I do, constantly, in real time. So this is my fault? I ask. My voice is reaching that pitch that I know is effective. It's not manipulative when I do it because I'm genuinely hurt. You hid a major medical condition from me, and somehow I'm the problem? I hid it because you make everything into a referendum on gender politics, he says. He's standing too now. He's taller than me, which feels threatening, but I can't say that without acknowledging biological reality. I was depressed, John. I am depressed. And I couldn't tell you, because you don't actually want to hear about problems unless you can use them as a jumping-off point for your monologues. Monologues? Monologues? Place? I share my perspectives. I educate. I illuminate. With the fact that he experiences my wisdom, as monologuing says everything about his inability to accept accountability. Wait. I need to reframe this. I'm losing the high ground, and that's not acceptable. You're gaslighting me right now, I say firmly. Gaslit people need to name it. That's healing. I'm not gaslighting you, Sarah, he says. He sounds so exhausted, which again, manipulative. I'm telling you the truth. For once, I'm actually telling you the truth, instead of just agreeing with whatever you say to avoid the 8-hour dissection of why I'm a symptom of patriarchal decay. 8 hours is an exaggeration. My processing sessions are thorough, not long. There's a difference. Quality over quantity. Although now that I think about it, maybe quantity too, because comprehensive analysis requires time. If you felt you couldn't communicate with me, that's your failure, I point out. This is logical. This is reasonable. I have always been open and available. You've been available to talk at me, he says. Not to me, not with me, at me. The semantics feel like an attack. Prepositions as weapons. This is actually violence, if you think about it. Linguistic violence. I'm spiraling now. I need to ground myself in what I know to be true. I am a good person. I am empathetic. I am emotionally available. I have made myself incredibly vulnerable in this relationship. I told him about my childhood trauma, the time my dad bought me the wrong doll, the systematic dismissal of my preferences. He said it was just a mistake, but I explained for 2 hours how it was actually a microcosm of how girls are taught their desires don't matter. He listened to all of that. Well, he was in the room for all of that. Same thing. I can't believe you're attacking me when you're the one who's been lying. I say, redirecting is important. Staying on offense. I wasn't attacking you, he says, and now he sounds different. Resolved, maybe. That's not good. Resolution in the other person means loss of control. I was trying to explain. But you're right about one thing. I should have told you. I should have told you years ago that this wasn't working for me. Wait, what does that mean? This, what wasn't working? Us, he clarifies, as if reading my mind. Which is invasive, actually. Cognitive trespassing. I should have told you that I can't be in a relationship where I'm constantly being diagnosed, corrected, and informed of how my every action is problematic. where my own depression takes a back seat to your dissertation on why men don't go to therapy. Men don't go to therapy. I practically shriek. Facts don't care about his feelings. Wait, that's the wrong reference. That's from one of them. But the point stands. I go to therapy, Sarah, he shouts back. He never shouts. This is escalation. I'm being subjected to escalation. Raised voices are a form of intimidation. I've been in therapy for years. That's how I got the medication. That's how I've been managing to stay in this relationship despite feeling like I'm slowly disappearing. He's making himself the victim now. Classic Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. I know the acronyms. I'm educated. You're being incredibly manipulative right now, I inform him. Naming manipulation neutralizes it. You're turning this around to avoid accountability. Accountability for what? He asks. His face is red. I've never seen him like this. It's frightening. But also I can't acknowledge fear because that validates patriarchal dynamics of male aggression. For being depressed, for needing medication, for not trusting you enough to tell you because I correctly predicted that you'd make it about yourself? That's not what's happening. I'm not making it about myself. I'm making it about the principle. The principle of transparency in relationships. The principle of not keeping secrets. The principle of why is my brain foggy? Why can't I find my footing? You know what the worst part is? He continues. He's not yelling anymore. Somehow this is worse. I kept hoping you'd notice. I kept hoping you'd see that I was struggling. But you never did because you never actually looked at me. You looked at what I represented. The boyfriend-shaped object you could project all your theories onto. That's not true, I sob. I'm full crying now. The kind that's supposed to stop arguments. The kind that usually makes him apologize and comfort me. He's not moving toward me. I notice everything about you. I insist. I notice when you don't load the dishwasher right, and I take the time to explain the correct way. I notice when you use problematic language and I educate you. I notice when your behavior reflects internalized patriarchy and I help you deconstruct it. I notice, John. You notice what's wrong, he says quietly. You notice what needs correcting. You notice what you can use as evidence for whatever argument you're constructing in your head. But you've never just noticed me as a person. Who might be struggling? This is insane. I'm the most attentive partner. I literally keep a mental log of his mistakes so I can address them comprehensively. That's attention. That's care. I have sacrificed so much for this relationship, I say. My voice is shaking with righteous anger now. I have educated you, elevated you, tolerated your problematic socialization. I have performed endless emotional labor. I have carried this relationship. You've never asked me to carry any of it, he says. That's not the point. The point is, I did. Unasked labor is worth more because it's voluntary. So, what are you saying? I demand. I need him to say it. I need him to be the bad guy. Are you leaving me? Because you hid your depression and I'm reasonably upset about it? Framing is everything. I'm framing this correctly. He's the one with the secret. He's the one breaking trust. I'm the victim. I'm saying I can't do this anymore, he says. Each word lands like a stone. I can't be your project. I can't be your thesis on masculine fragility. I can't be the example you use when you're explaining what's wrong with men. I can't watch you perform empathy while never actually feeling it. I do feel empathy, I scream. I feel it constantly. I feel it so much I have to talk about it so everyone knows. That's what empathy is. You feel satisfaction, he says. He's gathering his keys. When did he start moving toward the door? You feel satisfaction at being more evolved, more aware, more enlightened. You feel satisfaction at correcting and educating and exposing. But empathy? Actually caring about someone else's pain without filtering it through your own narrative. He shakes his head. I don't think you know how. He's leaving. He's actually leaving. This is happening. I need to stop this. I need to say the right thing. There's always a right thing. A perfect argument. A winning framework. You can't leave, I say. My voice sounds strange. Small. I'm the victim here. You're the one who lied. You can't leave when you're the one who's wrong. Sarah, he says, and he sounds sad. So sad. When did he become this sad? I've been wrong about a lot of things, but the worst thing I was wrong about was thinking that if I just tried hard enough, if I just managed my own pain quietly enough, if I just agreed with you enough times, you'd eventually see me as a person instead of a problem to solve. The door opens. Where are you going? I ask. I'm following him. This isn't over. Arguments don't end until I've made my point comprehensively. To my brothers, he says. I'll come back for my stuff later. We need to talk about this, I insist. We need to process this properly. I've been talking to you for 3 years, he says. He's at his car now. You've just never been listening. He drives away. I'm standing in the driveway. The neighbors might see. Mrs. Chen next door is definitely watching. She's probably judging me. She's always been passive-aggressive about my wind chimes. The wind chimes that I explained were from a sustainable collective. She said they were just loud. She would side with John. She has internalized misogyny. I go inside. The house is quiet. Too quiet. I need to process this. I need to understand what just happened. I'm the victim here. I am. He had depression and didn't tell me. That's the core issue. That's the fundamental betrayal. I open my laptop. I need to document this. I need to craft the narrative. My fingers hover over the keys. Usually the words flow. The righteous indignation. The perfect articulation of how I've been wronged. But something feels stuck. His face keeps flashing in my mind. Not from tonight. From other times. Last month, when he got quiet during dinner, I thought he was being moody. I told him his silence was a form of stonewalling. I explained the psychology of it for 45 minutes. He just nodded. I thought I'd gotten through to him. 6 months ago, when his mum was in the hospital. He seemed distant. I reminded him that men often use family crises to avoid emotional availability. I shared an article about it. He thanked me. I thought he appreciated the insight. A year ago, when he seemed tired all the time, I suggested he was probably just avoiding household responsibilities, weaponized incompetence through performed exhaustion. I'd read about it. He started sleeping in the guest room. He said his snoring was bothering me. I hadn't noticed snoring. I accepted the explanation. Why wouldn't I? Wait. No. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not making myself the villain in this story. He hid things from me. He made assumptions about me. He decided I wouldn't care without giving me a chance. That's on him. I start typing. Need to process something heavy. My partner of 3 years just revealed he's been on antidepressants the entire time and never told me because he didn't think I'd care. The audacity of men to... I stop. Read it back. Delete it. Try again. Trigger warning. Mental health. Betrayal. Just discovered my partner has been hiding his depression from me. Feeling so hurt that he didn't trust me enough to... Stop. This doesn't sound right either. Why doesn't it sound right? I'm the wronged party. The narrative should flow easily. His words keep echoing. You've never just noticed me. You perform empathy while never actually feeling it. I correctly predicted you'd make it about yourself. He's wrong. He has to be wrong. Because if he's not wrong, then no. I'm spiraling into self-doubt, and that's what the patriarchy wants. Women are socialized to doubt themselves, to take on blame that isn't theirs. This is internalized misogyny. I'm experiencing internalized misogyny right now. I need to resist it. I call my friend Jen. She'll understand. She's also evolved. Voicemail. I call Rachel, the one from the breakup last year. She doesn't answer either. Actually, now that I think about it, when's the last time Rachel and I talked? She stopped responding to my messages around. November? I'd sent her a detailed breakdown of why her new relationship was problematic. She said she needed space. I respected that. I only followed up 6 or 7 times. I call my mom. She answers. Sarah? It's late, sweetie. Mom, John left, I say. I'm crying again. Oh, honey, she says. She sounds concerned. This is good. This is validation. What happened? He's been hiding that he has depression, I explain, for years, and he just told me tonight, and when I was understandably upset, he made me out to be the bad guy. There's a pause. Well, my mum says carefully, depression is hard. He probably felt. He felt he couldn't tell me, because he assumed I wouldn't care. I interrupt. Without even asking me. Did he say why he assumed that? Mum asks. Her voice has that tone, the careful tone. The tone she uses when she's trying not to set me off. He said some really hurtful things about me, making everything about myself, I say, which is ridiculous because I'm the most empathetic person. You always tell me how empathetic I am. Another pause. Sarah, honey, Mum says slowly, you're my daughter, and I love you. But you've always been very focused on your own perspective. I'm sorry, what? Even when you were little, if your brother was upset, you'd explain to him why he was upset, instead of just listening. That's called emotional intelligence, Mum. I snap. That's called being evolved enough to identify patterns. Maybe, she says. She sounds tired. Everyone sounds tired tonight. It's like a conspiracy of exhaustion. Or maybe sometimes people just need you to care without the commentary. I have to go, I say. I hang up. My own mother. Siding with John. Siding with the man. This is textbook. This is what women do. We're socialized to defend men. To give them endless grace. To blame other women. I'm alone with my laptop. The cursor is blinking, mocking me. I try to remember when I last felt. What did John call it? Actually caring about someone's pain without filtering it through my own narrative. That's a ridiculous standard. All care is filtered through perspective. That's epistemology. That's basic philosophy. But there's something needling at me. A memory. My friend Katie. 2 years ago, she called me crying. Her dog had died. I remember feeling annoyed. I was busy, but I answered because that's what good friends do. She was sobbing. Incomprehensible. And I remember thinking, this is performative. Grief doesn't look like this. She's centering herself in the dog's death. I told her about the circle of grief, how she needed to make sure she was supporting the people closer to the tragedy. She said she was the person closest to the tragedy. It was her dog. I explained that I meant the dog itself, that anthropocentrism in mourning is problematic. She got quiet. We haven't really talked since. I told myself she couldn't handle being called out, that she was fragile. But now, I'm wondering. No, I'm not wondering. I was right. I'm always right. My analysis is always correct. Except John left. And Rachel stopped, talking to me. And Katie drifted away. And Jen didn't answer. And my mum sounded disappointed. And I'm alone. No, I'm alone because I'm evolved. Because I see through the bullshit. Because I refuse to perform palatability. Because I make people uncomfortable with my truth. That's what happens to women who speak up. We're isolated. We're punished. We're abandoned. John's medication bottle is still on the counter. He forgot it. Or left it. I pick it up, read the label. Prescribed 4 years ago. Refilled monthly. Consistently. He's been taking these every single day. For 4 years. Managing something. Handling something. While I what? While I helped him. While I guided him. While I educated him on his own patterns. Patterns I identified. Patterns he didn't ask me to identify. Patterns he maybe wasn't exhibiting. No, he was exhibiting them. All men exhibit them. That's structural. That's systemic. My analysis transcends individual experience. You notice what's wrong. His voice in my head. You notice what needs correcting. I'm helpful. I'm attentive. I see what others miss. Or I see what I'm looking for. And miss everything else. No. I'm not doing this. I'm not internalizing his gaslighting. He's the one who lied. He's the one who kept secrets. He's the one who left. But he's also the one who was suffering. Silently. For years. Next to me. And I never saw it. because I was too busy seeing everything else. Every microaggression, every problematic phrase, every instance of unconscious bias. Everything except him. I'm crying harder now. Different crying, not the validating kind. The kind that feels like breaking. What if he was right? What if I don't actually know how to care? What if all my empathy is performance? What if I've been so busy being the most evolved person in every room that I never actually connected with anyone in it? No. That's absurd. I connect deeply. I just have standards. I just expect people to meet me at my level. I just what? I just need everyone to acknowledge that my level is higher, that my perspective is more valid, that my analysis is more sophisticated, that my pain is more legitimate, that my truth is more true. And if they don't, if they're struggling with their own pain, if they're dealing with their own truth, if they need something from me that isn't a lecture, then what? Then they're wrong. Then they're problematic. Then they're not worth my energy. John spent 3 years worth my energy, apparently. 3 years being corrected, being diagnosed, being improved, being exhausted. And I thought I was loving him. I thought I was helping him. I thought I was making him better. Better than what? Better than himself. Better than his depression. Better than his silence. All the silence I never questioned. Because quiet men are easy. They don't push back. They don't challenge. They just absorb. And I had so much to give. So many insights. So many corrections. So much wisdom. Wisdom he never asked for. Wisdom that never included, "Are you okay?" Wisdom that never made space for, "I'm struggling." Wisdom that was really just me, talking, at him, about me. Oh God, he was right. No, he wasn't. He can't be. Because if he's right, then I'm what? Then I'm wrong. Then I'm the problem. Then I'm the reason. Then 3 years were built on my inability to see past my own reflection. I'm looking at my reflection now, in the dark laptop screen. I look destroyed. I look small. I look wrong. And I hate it. I hate this feeling of being. What's the word? Humbled. No. Humiliated. Exposed. Revealed as what he said. Vapid. Performative. Self-absorbed. No. I am none of those things. I am educated. I am aware. I am fighting systems. I am doing the work. The work of what exactly? Of making myself feel superior. Of making everyone else feel small. Of never actually helping anyone. Just correcting them. Just lecturing them. Just using their pain as a springboard for my monologues. Monologues, he called them. Lectures, dissertations, performances, all words for the same thing. Me talking, always talking, never listening, never just caring. I don't know how. He's right. I don't know how to care without making it about me. I don't know how to empathize without centering myself. I don't know how to support without controlling. I don't know how to love without correcting. I don't know how to be with someone without improving them. I don't know how to just be. John knew how to just be. Even with depression, even with medication, even with silence, he was just himself. And I never let him be. I needed him to be better. Better meaning more like me. Me meaning right. Right meaning superior. Superior meaning alone. I'm alone now. Truly alone. Not martyred alone. Not righteously alone. Just alone. Because everyone left. Or I pushed them. Or I talked over them until they faded. Or I corrected them until they broke. Or I loved them the only way I know how. Which isn't love at all. It's something else. Something that looks like love from the outside. Something that feels like love when I'm performing it, but isn't. Isn't warm, isn't safe, isn't generous, isn't kind. It's cold. It's exhausting. It's selfish. It's cruel in its certainty. Cruel in its righteousness. Cruel in its complete inability to make room for anyone else's reality. I want to call him. I want to apologize. I want to say I understand now, but I don't understand. I just see. For the first time I see. And seeing isn't the same as changing. And wanting to change isn't the same as being able to. And maybe that's the most horrifying thing. Not that he was right, but that even knowing he was right, in even seeing what I am, I don't know how to be different. I only know how to be this. This person who turns self-awareness into another performance. This person who would take this moment of clarity and weaponize it. This person who would post about her breakthrough, her growth, her evolution. Even now I'm thinking about how I'll frame this, how I'll tell this story, how I'll center myself in the narrative of my own awfulness, how I'll make even my humiliation about me. He said, I'd make it about myself. He said, I always do. And he was right. And knowing he was right doesn't fix it, doesn't change it, doesn't make me capable of anything else. I'm sitting in the dark, in an empty house, with a bottle of someone else's medication, someone else's pain, someone else's secret, that I made about me, like I make everything about me. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, is that even this realization, even this moment of seeing myself clearly, feels like a performance, feels like something I'm doing for an audience, feels like another way to be the center of attention, even if the attention is negative, even if the attention is deserved. I am exactly what he said I was, and I don't know how to be anything else. And everyone who could have helped me learn, I've driven away, with my certainty, with my lectures, with my inability to let anyone else be human, while I performed humanity. John is gone, and he's not coming back, and I'm alone, and I deserve it. And even knowing I deserve it, I'm already thinking about how to frame myself as the victim, already planning the narrative, already writing the post in my head, and I can't stop. I can't stop making it about me. I can't stop centering myself. I can't stop performing, even for an audience of none, even in the dark, even destroyed. Because being destroyed is just another role, another performance, another way to be the most interesting person in the room, even when the room is empty. Even when everyone left, even when I'm finally, completely, utterly alone, with nothing but my own reflection and the certainty that I'm right about everything, except the only thing that mattered, which was him, and he's gone.